In this video, I'm gonna make a mobile horror game in 24 hours. Is it possible? Let's find out. I saw that every horror in one day on YouTube made for PC, but no one did that for mobile. I made some decent games before, but never tried making horror games at all. So I'm here to challenge myself. First, we need some sketch. So I'm starting the timer and going to paint. As this game is for mobiles and I've got only 24 hours, unfortunately I won't have time to do games prop. So I decided to make it endless runner, but make it a little bit scary. You can see that we have a monster behind the player and player must run away. To make it harder, I added 2 doors that spawns in front of player, and player have to choose right door. I planned to make distance bar between player and monster, but later I gave it up. Cause then it would be no sense of jump scares when you know where monster is. I opened Unity Hub to create a new project and named it as Mobile Horror in 24. After some coding, early gameplay is done. The monster chases the player as we run into the doors. Then the doors return to their starting position, creating the illusion that we are running into them again. Okay, now let's add some new features. And there's the first problem. If you're attentive, you can see that 3 hours passed away because I'm stuck on coding. The problem was that I couldn't make a system where numbers of rooms spawn properly and then save info about what doors is wrong or not. But after 4 hours I beat it, so now everything should be okay. Then I considered about how players should know where right door is. So after some time I came up with the idea where player can check the number on a piece of paper on his hand. And then players should always check the changed numbers to stay alive. Definitely, this game mechanic with paper not that interesting, but I really don't know how to make it better, so don't be mad guys. As you can see, I found paper image on internet and then put it on game. I didn't know about how to make animation where player pulls out his paper. However, my solution was lessons on YouTube and practice. Then I made that animation and it looks pretty well. By the way, if you want more videos like this, please like and subscribe, that will help me a lot. This is my first time making videos like that, so I hope you guys will support me. Let's get back to the video. You can see how animation looks in game. If you want to know how it works, it's working with triggers that activates animation depends on what player just did. For example, in my game, when the player touches the top of paper, paper is showing up like from pocket, then it goes back. Let's test how it works. We are hounded by the monster, and to run over him we must choose right door that written by the paper. So player must choose exactly that door number which is written by the paper. And that's how gameplay is almost done. We need some general thing. Horror elements that make our game scary. It would be interesting if I had to try a monster model by myself, but time is not infinitive, so we need ready-made models. Where we can find that things? Of course on Google. First I open the Google and search up for monster model and animations. I was about to choose this gentleman, but later I got something more interesting. You can see that all of them looks interesting and cool. After long choices on Mixamo and Unity as a store, I found it cute and terrifying for each character. Later, I brought him on my Unity. And spoiler, it was a mistake. So I was trying to import this black rabbit model into Unity, but for some reason it kept turning pink. Now If you have worked with Unity before, you probably know that pink usually means the material or shader is missing or not supported. Basically, Unity couldn't read the shader from the original file, so it just replaced it with this default pink color as a placeholder. I tried a bunch of different things, changing the material, re-importing the textures, messing with the shader settings, but nothing worked. In the end, I decided to just replace the model entirely because I didn't want to waste the whole day fixing a pink rabbit. After some time, I found this. I think that he would suit the game perfectly, and I hope we wouldn't have any troubles later. Here's our monster, we'll call him Nick. I swapped out the boring capsule monster for Nick, and now he can actually chase down the player like a proper killer. Anyway, enjoy the time lapse of me making it happen. So, for the next part, I spent more time working on the walls. First, I was picking the right textures. I wanted something that felt dark and unsettling. You know, the kind of surface you wouldn't want to touch in real life. After trying a few different options, I finally found one that really gave off that creepy, abandoned building vibe. Then, I built two walls facing each other. The idea here is that when the player runs between them, it creates the illusion of a long, narrow hallway. Combine that with the right lighting and shadows, and suddenly it feels like you are trapped in this endless, terrifying corridor. I know it might look simple now, but trust me, in horror games the environment does half the job of scaring you. The walls aren't just walls, they are part of the atmosphere that makes you feel like something watching you from the darkness. Finally, I started adding dark lighting to my game. Perhaps it's too dark, but I think that's okay, because we don't have anything to show player except the doors. As you can see, I made the lighting as if there is a small light bulb above us. And after all of that job, we should check how it works in game. So look at this, we have red lighting and we can use our paper. Also, we see which door number is right and we can choose that door. I didn't make the option when player chooses the wrong door, however I'm going to add this right now, so see you later. Now our target is make a jump scare, which would be like a losing screen, and screen that the player won't want to see. But you know that it's my first time making horror games, and because I don't have enough skills and experience, I made a very simple screamer that won't scare many people. It's just a Nick that spawns directly in front of player, and he gonna make an annoying noise. But there was another problem. Look, I wanted to make sure that player would have experience where he is running the door, not doors running to player. And to do this, I figured out that you can make the screen black for a second, and later it would smoothly become normal. Plus, I wanted to make the effect that when the player selected the door, there would be a shaking effect, like the player running down the corridor. But either because I'm dumb and didn't figure out how to do it, or because I wanted to sleep, I couldn't. So I'm little disappointed that I couldn't do it the way I wanted to. But even after this, last thing that we should add is sound effects. I think that it's an important thing on every game, and especially when we talk about horror games. First, I added footsteps. When the player is running, you will hear the fast, echoing rhythm. It instantly gives you the sense that you are not just moving, but actually sprinting down a hallway, like something chasing you. Then, I worked on the door sound. Instead of just popping open, the door creaks with this heavy, unsettling noise. Little details like this make the whole environment feel more alive. I also threw in a paper sound. It might seem random, but trust me, even something as simple as a rustle of paper can be creepy when you're alone in the dark. It's the kind of sound that makes you stop and think, wait, who touched that? On top of that comes the music. Not happy music, of course, but just tense, droning sounds that slowly build pressure in your mind. Horror music isn't about being pretty, it's about making you feel uncomfortable, like something awful is about to happen. And finally, the screamer sound. At first, I wanted to make it insanely loud and terrifying, but then I realized there are going to be a lot of screamers in this game. If every single one of them was max volume, it wouldn't stay scary for long, it would just get annoying. So I decided to tune it down a bit, just enough to still make your heart skip without destroying your ears. Now, to be honest, the end result with the sound didn't turn out that great, but considering this whole project was made in less than 24 hours, I think that's totally fine. And we are moving to doing restart button. Basically, I could make button a bit more engaging, but guys, at that moment I really wanted to sleep, so I did simple working buttons that restart the game if we lost it. I found a little bug where even if you are already lost and scream disappeared, you still can run and go through the doors. Don't worry, I fixed that rapidly and we can say that our game is done. But we still need to talk about what I did and what I wanted to do before showing the result. Now please pay attention to my tasks. I really wanted to do everything that I thought was necessary, but I didn't have time to do it because of the time. You can also see what I was able to implement in the game and what is already working. Before showing you the final result, I also want to mention some features that I planned to add but didn't have time for. And first of all, camera shake with a black screen effect. The idea was to make an illusion that the player is running towards the doors, not the doors are just moving to him. I think it could make the gameplay feel more natural, but sadly, I couldn't make it in time. Then of course I wanted to add a main menu, nothing special, just a simple menu. But it's still missing. Next thing is score and high score system. I know how to implement it, but again I just didn't fit it into the 24 hours. Another point is optimization. Right now the game is not optimized at all, but at least it runs, so I think it's fine for now. Also clean code. Honestly my code looks terrible. I was planning to make it more structured and readable if I had some extra time, but I didn't. If you still want to check it out, the link to my GitHub is in the description. And finally, the monster tracker. As I said, I thought it would be a nice feature, but then I realized it doesn't really make sense in this type of game. If you always know that monster is close, then screaming lose their purpose. Plus, it would take too much time to implement, so I decided to skip it. That's all the things I wanted to do but couldn't finish. Now let's see how our game is working. If you want to try my game by yourself, you can easily get it from the description. Thanks for watching and have a good day.